Hey, Amy, happy July. Last of July. Woo,
Yeah,
last day of July.
I know summer's
Summer's
almost
going by.
over. I know,
I
and our
know, it's
teachers
crazy.
already are back in school, and before we know it, your grandkids are going to be back in school.
I know. My granddaughter actually starts kindergarten, so I have them this weekend, so it'll be fun. I wanted to talk about today about toxins, and we are going to do a exercise that you should do every single day. This exercise every single day is for you to drain your lymphatic system. And so if you will do it along with me, Maya, if you want to do this along with us, you can. Welcome joining us for our call. Thank you. I know it's sometimes hard for people to get on in the middle of the day, but we do record this so people can have it. But so this exercise is called the Big Six. It's really important. I do it every single morning. It's great to get the toxins out of your body and your body flowing. So we're just going to start. I guess really quick, I should say what a lymphatic system is and why we need to drain our lymphatic system. So the easiest way to say it is it's like a network of tiny little tubes all over our body. And just like you take your garbage out every day or whenever you take it out, should be every day, I guess. And so it doesn't collect in our body. We need to flush those toxins out, and that's what the lymphatic system does. So it removes waste, toxins from our body, helps us get rid of stuff that the body does not use, and and we don't want it to get stuck in there because then those toxins go back to our body. We get inflammation, all this kind of stuff happens. So we're going to start with your right hand on your collarbone. So we're going to massage above your collarbone and below your collarbone. And we're going to do three things to the collarbone. We're going to massage it for a little bit. And then we are going to tap it. And then we're going to massage it below the collarbone and above the collarbone. And then we're going to do exactly the same way on the other side. So rub above it, rub below it, and then tap it, and then massage it. And you know, when you're by yourself, take your time. Get some pretty nice music on. Take your time. It doesn't have to take a long time, but just, relax while you're doing it. And the next one is we're going to massage our neck. So from behind our ears to our neck. So just a massaging behind your ears to your neck. I find this one kind of hard to do sometimes. And then just tapping. And massaging. If you have one of those what are those little scraper things called? I forget. Name just went out of my head. Those are really nice to do along your neck too. Yeah, the other one. What's the little other one called? I forget what it's called. You can do that too. Okay. The next one is under our arms. So we're just massaging right here, like going towards your chest, above your chest. Then tapping. And then massaging. And you can go one way and then the other way. And then the other side. And then massaging. Okay, the next one's kind of interesting because it's our stomach. So we want to put our hands like this. So our belly and our lower gut. And so we're just going to go back and forth. So on our belly button and then below it. And we're just wake up that digestive system. Hello, wake up. And then we're just going to massage it and we're going to pat it. And then we're going to put our hands on top of each other, right where our belly button is, and massage it. Okay, the next one is the seam of your upper thigh. So from your hip in the crevice of your upper leg, right there where your leg bends, you just want to massage it. Those lymph nodes that are down there, it's part of the lymphatic system. So the top of your hip all the way down, massage it, and then tap it. And then massage. And if you feel something that's tender or something that's tight, stay there a little longer. You can do that. The next one, you may have to stand up for this. If you're sitting down, that's okay. But you have to sit, is behind your knees. So if you want to stand up, you can do behind your knees. You want to rub behind your knees. I can't put it down. Rub behind your knees. Tap it. And then massage it. And the very last one, you're going to have to stand for. I'm going to explain it before you do it. You're literally going to stand on your toes and pop up and down your heels like this. And just wave your arms. Get your arms going. So we're just popping up and down. And we're going to do that for about 30 seconds. I'm sorry we can't see it. Pop up and down. And that's it. And that is how we can drain our lymphatic system every day. Doing it first thing in the morning before you go to bed, it's a great way to do that. So there you go, Amy. That's our what's called our big 6.
Okay, I really enjoyed that. And I don't think there's places on my body that have been cut, like behind my knees. That felt so good.
Yeah, behind your knees. Yes, I love that. I love that exercise.
Jody, we talked yesterday about sometimes when I will decide to do a cleanse or whatever, I get real inflamed right here, where we rubbed on. And
Right?
those lymph nodes, I think that's where I personally collect those toxins the most, because they will be so very painful.
Interesting. Yeah. So you can like rub on that, pat it, be tender with it when they are swollen, but yeah, it will help to drain them.
Well, thank you. That was really good.
Yeah.
So, along with toxins, so often that we're taught to count calories and keep track of all of that stuff. And someone once told me instead of counting calories, we should all be counting toxins. And so when you start reading labels, which would be a prepackaged food, you'll find probably a lot of them, not with everything, but that's where we'll find most of our toxins. So when I heard that tip, it really changed the perspective on how I shop. So I'm a person that will eat prepackaged foods sometimes for convenience, but even that prepackaged food, now that label is read more scrupulously so I can make sure that at least I'm understanding some of those ingredients. Because those toxins, just from what you're saying, those toxins just stay in our system and they build up because our body doesn't know what to do with them. So they store them.
That's right. Yeah. Stores them. We got to get them out of there.
Very good. And I like the example of taking out your trash.
Yep, that's what it is.
Okay. Why do we need to stay hydrated through all this, Jody?
Because that helps flush out those toxins. So as we're releasing the toxins, being hydrated, drinking that water flushes that all out. That's why we stress so much about how much water you're drinking, especially if it has to do with weight loss, hormonal imbalance. If you've got these extra estrogens and stuff coming out, flushing those out is what we need to get out. If you've got waste that's stuck in your body, we've got to flush it out, and being hydrated is one of the biggest things.
Excellent. So then this was a main question that I get asked all the time because Jody and I teach a lot about anti-inflammatory diet to keep inflammation down. So the cortisol level isn't elevated just because our body's inflamed from what we eat. But the question I got is, why is it sometimes when I choose to eat foods that are prepackaged that may have several toxins in it, why do I not feel that bloat or inflammation, but I do feel bloated when sometimes I eat healthier. So we're going to go over a few reasons why that may be happening. And hopefully it makes sense to you that eating healthier is always the best option. But as you're changing that diet and figuring out where your sensitivities or intolerances are, sometimes that creates the bloat. So some healthy foods, particularly those high in fiber like vegetables, legumes, whole grains, they can create a lot of bloating in individuals who are more sensitive to carbohydrates. Simply put, these carbohydrates are often they're poorly absorbed in the small intestine, and they can create this fermentation in the gut bacteria, and then that gut bacteria or that fermentation leads to gas and bloating. So food sensitivities and intolerances often create bloat.
Yep, that's so true. So true. Another one can be our, I don't know what was happening there. Sorry about that. Another one can be is because of our microbiome. When we have, when our balance of bacteria in our gut affects different foods. So if we're eating like more packaged foods, our body gets used to that certain bacteria. And so when we introduce something like fiber or natural stuff to put into our gut, our microbiome, sometimes the good bacteria will start to grow and the bad bacteria will start to die off. And that can cause a lot of bloating and stuff there. There's a transition there that can happen. But it also, because of the how our bacteria is, that food that comes through that fiber is not going to be absorbed well. So our microbiome is different because it's used to something coming from junk food or potato chips or something like that versus having that fiber. So that can cause someone to, have that bloat and stuff like that. It's always better to switch to a healthier diet, but just know that there might be a little transition there of having bloat and stuff like that.
So this goes right along with it. So junk foods often contain higher levels of sodium and other additives. And so instead of necessarily creating inflammation, we're retaining water. And this might make the digestive system, it might feel less bloated temporarily, even though these foods are not long-term healthy for us. And sometimes I notice this sodium thing even in some of the drinks that we choose to drink, like when we're on vacation and I get more of a salt rimmed glass than a nothing rimmed glass when I wake up the next day. The sodium has created this inflammation in my face. I'm bloated from retaining water. And so I think sometimes those things go hand in hand.
Absolutely. Yeah. So this one, I always seem to like talk about this, but I'm just going to do it again. Sometimes it's a psychological factor. The psychological factor of having healthy foods bloat in us is something sometimes is how we're thinking about them. And this is across the board for everything. If we are taking supplements and we feel like they do not work for us, sometimes it's your brain that we have to get our mindset better to have them even work for us. If our nervous system is dysregulated and we have this psychological factor that things are not going to be better for us, even though we eat healthier, it can cause a lot of bloating in our system. Isn't that crazy? That's how strong our mind is. And I just want you to realize that that's very important. So going into healthy living, going into learning how to balance our hormones, going into weight loss, going into all these different areas, it is so important to have the right mindset. If you have the wrong mindset, it can rise your cortisol. If your cortisol is risen, you can cause more bloat and digestive issues. So it's just like a vicious circle. So learning how to be able, that's why, I start each day with, cleansing my lymph node, doing meditation, having prayer, having things to learn to tell my body that it's safe. I'm okay where I'm at. I don't have to stress. I can regulate. I can balance my hormones. It all has to do with our digestive process also.
I once heard whatever you say is so. So if you're saying things like, I'm not going to lose the weight, or healthy foods are bad for me, or I don't feel good when I eat healthy foods, whatever we tell our body, our brain is the first to believe what we say, even in our own thoughts. So I totally agree with
Absolutely.
that psychological factor. So I
I
used to be oh, go ahead.
I understand that sometimes we have sensitivities and stuff like that, but even when regulating your nervous system and having your mindset better, those will actually lessen. They actually lessen so that you don't have that, which is amazing. Amazing to me.
So when I started my healthy journey, I kind of was a sugar junkie, and I always used to say, well, sugar doesn't inflame me. And part of the reason that we don't always feel inflammation from processed foods or junk foods is because during their manufacturing process, those things being created, it's breaking down the enzymes in those. And so our belly is actually able to digest those easier, where a healthy,
Mhm.
on the other hand, it might require more digestive enzymes to break that down. And so often our bodies are not producing enough of these enzymes. And when that happens, we get bloated. So I often talk about how salad used to make me bloat quite a bit. Since I've rebalanced my gut, I noticed that I can eat uh, leafy greens a whole lot better than when I first started eating healthy or eating anti-inflammatory. And now we know it's because we're producing enough digestive enzymes to break down those food. But sometimes that junk food, because of how it's processed, it's much easier to get through our digestive tract, and it doesn't require a whole lot of breaking down because it's not real food. So if you're eating healthy and you're just like, I feel bloated, it's likely a digestive enzyme issue. Um,
Mm.
and Amari has a digestive. So if that's something you're struggling with, reach out to us and we can help you put that in your next order.
I always say if you're having problems during this time with weight loss or you're trying to balance your hormones and you have like constipation or the other one, a digestive enzyme is crucial for you to have before your meals. So it really helps to break down that food and help your body to get to where it needs to go. So yes, digestive enzymes are they're a great product, very good product. Okay, so the last one, reasons why you may have a lot of bloat and digestive issues is a lot of times when we start eating healthy, we start eating really big portions of healthy stuff because we're usually, we're thinking, oh, I get to eat this. I'm going to have me a great big salad and have all this. So what happens is that sometimes we overdo our the right type of food that we need to eat. So we have way too much fiber, or we have a way too big of a salad, too much stuff, and it causes us problems to have to digest that food, and that can cause some bloat in us too. So it's less calories but dense, more, I guess, more food for the calories, I guess, what you say when you have like salads and vegetables and stuff like that. And sometimes those raw vegetables just take a lot to break down and can cause some bloating.
Yeah,
So we
ultimately,
overeat a lot.
oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
ultimately we're eating more than our stomach needs, and it's got to go somewhere, so it goes out while you're digesting. It's
Yeah.
overeating.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, and that can be in bad foods too. If you overeat in bad foods, you're going to be bloated and horrible too. So, bad or good.
Bad or good. Okay. Well, we have Maya and Kelly on. Do either of you have any questions about the protocol you're consuming, or do you have any questions just in general about health or nutrition or toxins? If not, that's what we have for today. Okay, ladies. Well, I thank you all for being on. I know some of you were able to come in right on time and then a few minutes late, so I'll make sure you get the recording. We'll send it out to everyone. It will likely be tomorrow, but if not, maybe late afternoon. And our next meeting is August 28th.
Woo-hoo!
No, I lied. It's the 20. No, maybe it is the 28th. It is the 28th. So August 28th. You're welcome, Kelly. I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you soon. Bye.
See you later.